Hello, everyone, and welcome as we return once again to the world of Yara.
Nice catch, Paul.
Last we left off, our wild walkers.
Lay down.
Well, half of our wild walkers fled after stealing a cup from a group of banshees, and
She said we could take it.
did successfully manage to escape the domain of Klina, the Queen of the Banshees, and sailing back across the waters of the inland saltwater lake. Whoops. All of my things are gone again.
Oh no.
Oh, all of your your little move.
Sailing back across the inland saltwater lake of Lindegra, you thought up strategies for how to best go about finishing up this little side quest while also trying to retain the objects that you had worked decently hard to acquire, involving, members of your party losing their memory and, getting downed in a couple of, or getting downed and screamed to death by a strange, fey, undead bird lady. It's a lot of hard work went into acquiring the Goblet of Truth and the Silver Bow. Ultimately, you decided to still return to Fonda, the old lady who had sent you on this quest. And upon returning to the docks, you dealt with a despondent Ophalon, briefly, as he was having a no good, very bad day. Yeah. Shortly after doing so, you were confronted by Fonda, who rapidly revealed herself as the Fonda, the Queen Under the Ocean, the wife of Manan and Maklir, and the mother of the two Archfey that you had just spent the day dealing with. She sent a group of sprightly adventurers off to gather these objects to get her daughters to leave their courts and actually come for a visit for once. In thanks, she presented you with a chest of gems and an offer to transport you all to any place that salt water touched. There was offers for anywhere along the coast. Omenda briefly considered asking about a spot right out in the middle of the ocean, but ultimately thought better of that. But in the end, you all just decided just across the lake to the next village would be for the best, to keep on the trail of your quarry, the Court of Whispers. Arriving in Grossforth, the village at the crossroads, on the opposite bank of Lindegra, it was getting towards twilight, and you set about looking for a place to stay for the night. Juniper found a lovely, tall, skinny inn by the name of the Tall Peacock, which seemed to be managed by a kind of hyper and anxiety-ridden Kenku by the name of Waterfall, who, got things all settled. That was, of course, after Kyra led the rest of the party to another establishment by the name of the Lovely Bird, which looked like a fine establishment. And it is a fine establishment, but it is very much the red light establishment of this market town.
I was just looking for to get my body back in better spirits.
Ophalon did decide to stay with his night at the bordello being paid for by Ewan, who very very casually said, "I have no concept of money," and the rest of you had a meal. Omenda performed at the Tall Peacock, told stories, and earned a little bit more cash flow. And ultimately, you all took to sleep in preparation to return to your journey the next morning. You did also learn that the Court of Whispers had been through not 2 days before. They had stolen a bunch of things from some of the market stalls. They had stayed at the Lovely Bird. They had set fire to the ferry that travels across the lake, and in the end had been run out of town by the locals, and that was about 2 days ago. So you are roughly the same distance behind them as you have been. But that is where we will return, is to this, as we are quickly approaching morning. But before we get to morning, we have to do a little bit of housekeeping. Let's do... Ophalon.
Yep.
Your evening is seen to, as you wish it to be, by the workers of the Lovely Bird. Guided inside, you are introduced to the twin tiefling mistresses of the tavern. A pale white ivory-skinned tiefling with solid black eyes and black satin by the name of Odd, and a black like onyx-skinned tiefling with solid white eyes wearing white satin by the name of Nod. They are happy to serve a big spender and see that you are well taken care of. A room is provided. Your company stays as long as you wish them to. But inevitably, you do find yourself to sleep. Now, Ophalon, in your adventures this evening, I only have one clarification question for you, and it's how much do you think you drink whilst you are at this establishment? You, keeping in mind, of course, that you have walked in here with 10 platinum, which is more than you would ever need. That is more money than any single one of these people has probably ever held at a single time, except for maybe the mistresses themselves.
I wouldn't say I drank until I blacked out.
Fair enough. That's good to know. Either way, Ophalon, you go to bed in presumably greater spirits than you've been in for several days now. And that mood continues into sleep. A series of dreams that at first seem to continue the lovely events of your waking hours. But things begin to change a bit. As at one point you are standing no longer surrounded by common folk and bordello workers, beautiful people around you. You stand alone in a dark place. You see high above you what must be the sky, a thin strip. Rock walls up to either side. Not just rock walls, but there are buildings here, like shanties. Rope bridges strung along, but there is not a person to be seen. It is cold. Very cold. And nearby to you stands a single rowan tree here at the bottom of this canyon. It is frozen, solid, perfect, as if water had engulfed it completely and then been flash frozen. Every individual leaf still intact within. And near that tree, you do see a figure. A hooded figure holding a knotted staff, who is running her hand, wrinkled, cracked, pale, long fingernails along the frozen bark of this tree. The figure turns towards you and you see piercing blue eye. An elderly woman with hair almost like icicles from beneath the hood. And she looks towards you. One of the eyes is slightly squinted, but the other is wide open, and that blue is just staring into your very being.
Hi.
She walks a bit closer at your words. And she holds the staff in her gnarled fingers. She says, "You've come to rest. Good. Good. She takes the staff and jabs it at the emblem of the silver hand that you wear. She says, "What a fine trinket. Is that your hope for the future there, lad?"
Yes, ma'am.
She she lowers the staff and kind of gives a dry chuckle that sounds like a wind on the tundra. Just, well, maybe it will be and maybe it won't. The fates haven't quite decided on that yet. But I thought perhaps an offer for a peek. Who is it you most want to see?
My brother.
She grins, this wide grin that just makes the wrinkles of her face grow in intensity, and she says, Right. Good. Well, don't say I never did anything for you. And she taps the staff. The tree, the rowan tree, shatters. And you hear from somewhere far above a fierce and mighty roar. A primal beast that you've never heard. And as the shards of this ice flash through your very being, you begin to see flashes. And then you're breathing heavy. You hold your hand to your chest. You cough, and blood comes out of your mouth. As you look down and you see your side, a hole that is just gushing blood out of your side. You reach your hand down. The hole is on your left-hand side. You take your right hand and heal it. Although that is not magic that you are used to. The healing seems to take, but a few seconds later, the wound begins to bleed anew. And instead, you hold your hand as tight as you can. As you pant and look around, it is dark. You see glowing, strange things. Fungal in nature. You breathe again. And you start to walk. Slow. Steady. Time passes until you see light again. Some sort of cave entrance. You walk out into a blizzard. Fierce, whipping winds. As you just sigh and lean back against a wall. You turn your head, and in the reflection of the ice along the side of this cave entrance, You see a familiar face that is not yours, but it is yours. You see the face of Pfeifferon Thalamore. Pale, deep, dark circles under his eyes. He is holding a wound on his side, and you now realize in this reflection why he is holding that side with the opposite arm. His left arm is missing just past the elbow. He breathes, and you see his eyes just roll into the back of his head as he falls to the ground at the entrance of this cave. And the dream is overtaken by snow. The last thing that you see, though, like a beacon shining through it all. Though his breath is raspy, his chest rises and falls. And a pendant, much like the one that you wear, glows with such a vibrant silver light that it must be visible for miles, even through this storm. You all get a long rest. If you haven't taken one yet.
Sure.
Yo.
Boy is rested.
As you all come to consciousness, Ophalon, you are within the Loving Bird. The rest of you awake in your rooms in the Tall Peacock. What is everyone doing?
Well, we need non-perishables for the journey. So, I guess I'm asking somebody who's probably Kyra, somebody who's been in a city though before, where one would go about doing that.
Well,
I picture that this is super early in the morning, and
Sure, yeah.
Ewan is like standing outside of Kyra's door. Kyra's still like barely awake as he's speaking to her. A market. You would go to a market. Do you want me to take you to the market?
I don't know if you look like you're ready to go.
Well, you'll need to give me a minute.
I
Yeah.
can always take them.
Juniper totally drank Kyra under the table.
I don't know if I like the implication of you taking me to the market.
Trust me.
Neither
I
of
won't
you are
put you
going to
anywhere
the
that I
market
wouldn't go.
alone. Stay.
I'll go with you, and Juniper walks down the hall.
Well, there's
I
that.
was just
See, we have a chaperone. It's fine.
Speaking of,
yeah, I'm gonna close the door.
Kyle, I had a question.
Yeah.
I want to see if you would allow this in a rules kind of way.
Mm-hmm.
I was reading Distort Value,
Uh-huh.
and you mentioned that chest of gems that we have.
Mm-hmm.
Would I be able to distort value the chest of gems or a portion of the gems themselves? Because it just says an object no more than 1 foot on a side.
Okay.
So it's kind of large.
Each individual gem.
The chest, you could do each individual gem, which would be a really long process. the chest in and of itself, like it does have to be an object. So you can't do like a handful of gems, and you can't do the whole. Like if you cast it on the chest, you would make the chest itself look more valuable than it is. Is what would
also just do it on each gem and be like, hey, this is a gem that happens to be worth your exact asking price. Isn't that crazy? Whoa.
Yeah, no, that was gonna be the other way that I was gonna do it if I wasn't able to do the bulk, you know. But Amanda's gonna be like, which one of y'all got that case of gems? I don't actually know.
I think it's in the sack. And I pull it out. Oh yeah, it's in the sack.
You mind if I take my share for the market? Got some things I'll need together.
Clunk.
Clunk.
Go for it.
Right.
Cool.
Or thunk. I don't know. Is it wood? Or is it...
How much was in the chest again? I can check.
Approximately 3,000
3,000
gold worth of gems.
Jeez Louise. Okay.
You're looking at, and it's no, we're not talking about diamonds here by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah.
We're looking
So,
at
600
emeralds,
each.
sapphires,
Yeah.
rubies, you know, just your standard fare for gems.
Okay.
600 out for you, friend.
As the four of you prepare to head towards the market, Ophalon, inside of the Loving Bird, as you have woken up, your guests for the evening have long left. They did not stay here to wake up with you the next morning. But what are you getting up to? What's the first thing Ophalon does when he wakes up?
First of all, he checks his side. Kind of as a...
Armor's good. Side is good.
He's just kind of getting his head straight.
Mm-hmm.
How well does he remember his dream?
You remember most of it. I would say that the final bit of it is probably the most immediately prevalent in your mind. As well as the image of the old crone who came to you and offered you a sight.
I'm gonna grab my things, make sure I have all my items and whatnot, and then I'm going to make my way out the door.
Okay. Where are you headed, Ophalon?
To go find my friends.
You got it. Yeah, I'll say that you guys all kind of meet up. The Lovely Bird and the Tall Peacock are very close to one another, and you all are stepping. I would say Ophalon, you step outside, immediately see a stall that is serving just kind of a hot tea sort of beverage for the morning, as well as has some fresh fruit. And you know, you're not the most hungover you've ever been, but a good bit of nosh in the morning would certainly help a little bit. So as Ophalon, as you're kind of getting this little meager breakfast together, the rest of you exit the Tall Peacock. Lady Rhiannon says, I'm going to get the horses and the cart ready. Do you think you'll need more than an hour at the marketplace?
No.
All right. I'll be prepared. I'll get things ready. I'll meet you on the other side of town. Head out towards the bridge when you're done, and I'll meet you out that way.
Will do.
We'll see you then.
Wonderful.
Well, off to the market, huh? Let's see. Which direction is that, huh?
Very easily to see. This is a crossroads town. The market is right at the center, where the two roads come together. You all come out and you meet up with Ophalon, who has a. Ophalon, what's your fruit of choice this morning?
Out of a mango.
A mango, a very tropical fruit, not common in this very cold place. Well, it's not super cold here. You're in a more temperate area now, but overall, we're talking a relatively cold environment. These mangoes come from the southern coast of the continent, and as of Lurinel. So they are exotic, we will say. But it is good.
It's good.
Perfect. Oops. You guys meet up with Ophalon.
Well, how was your night at the what was it, the Lovely Bird?
Great night. Slept like shit.
Yeah, it's kind of how they go, huh?
Not because of where I was staying or what I did.
Well, as long as you had a good time, at least let's go ahead and get our supplies and.
This frogman could not be bothered to care.
Are you all right, Ophalon?
Alright, some of you might be more knowledgeable about people around these places. Any of you know anything about an older lady with blue eyes, shows up in your dreams and shows you visions?
God.
Do
Miss
I?
Juniper.
Anybody who would like to could make a religion check or a history check.
Can I make a history check?
You could make a history check, Ophalon. Yeah.
I can do those.
I'm gonna.
It's a 17.
17.
15 for a religion.
15 religion.
Or history.
4 history. Ewan? Not a thing in that brain.
I actually have proficiency
Oh,
in history now. I just rolled really low.
Let me look at my actions.
So
Speaking of a
low.
bard, I can do things.
Kyra, did you roll?
I didn't know I was with everyone.
You
We're
all
together.
you all left the inn.
He talked about the 4 of us getting
Yeah,
rid
the
of
4 of you
Oh.
left the inn. Yeah.
Sorry.
We all just waited.
it. We
for you.
waited for you, you goober.
We weren't gonna just leave her there.
Fucking rude.
16 for religion.
16 for religion. All right. Ophalon, you got a 17 for history.
I have a plus 2.
Yeah, that's pretty good. For history, though, on a 17, Ophalon, you plenty of stories are told, tales, epics of visions of the gods coming to be. I mean, you don't just meet the gods in, the middle of nowhere, walking through the plains
We do.
all the time.
Technically.
You also get visions from deities. Even with a 17, because it's in history, I'd say the exact, you're not certain of the deity in question here, but you are, I think, acutely aware that you have had some sort of a divine message in the night, and it was not from the divine that you have been trying to pledge yourself to. Kyra and Juniper, on the other hand, the two that, well, we'll say the witch and the person who is the most learned in the old myths and legend myths and of the gods. This was a Tilwith Teg dream. This was the Lady of Prophecy herself, Byra, the Snow Witch. She governs most prophecy and vision. There's a bit of crossover. The outside of the pantheon, the Morrigan is known to kind of have a bit of influence over seeing and prophecy. The same with oh boy, my brain went kerploop. The same with Lou. A couple of the others have been known to give, kind of govern prophecy, but Byra is the closest to this description that you've been given from Ophalon, that you recognize from Tales of the Pantheon.
Juniper just looks quizzitively at Kyra. Byra?
Sounds like the Lady of Snow.
Snow Witch.
Yeah, that tracks.
What'd you see? If you're comfortable telling.
If he isn't already, Pfeifferon's in trouble.
If he's already what?
I'm pretty sure she showed me him dying.
Did you see anything else? See you around anything?
There was a cave, and there was snow. So I have to assume it was north.
All right.
That is a logical assumption.
Did Rhiannon say where he was stationed?
I think she did, didn't she?
Yes, she did.
She said in Kerrar, right?
And
Rar.
the no, actually, she said that
There's a difference.
that he spent quite a bit of time there, but that he had been sent to be the commander of a place known as the Last Bastion, Cadarnal Terfinal, which is, just a little ways away from Kerrayr. But that is where she had last heard that he had been at, and that is, of course, quite far north comparatively to where you all are right now.
Mm-hmm.
You're talking about at least 500 miles from where you all are right now.
Shit.
Such a long way off.
I will
gonna need-
also
If he's up
say,
in the mountains.
for Kyra, you got the 16 on religion. I will also just say for you, Kyra, you are, with your knowledge of the gods, aware that Byra is considered part of the pantheon. No one likes her. She is known for being a bitter old bitch, whose greatest desire is to steal people's youth. So, she's also Fae, so those are
Well,
things to keep in mind.
I mean, it might. I don't mean to make light of the situation, Ophalon, but Fae are kind of assholes. She might have just been showing you something that she wanted you to think was the real situation,
Yeah, they do lie
to get you to
sometimes.
can do what she wants.
I
know.
I really hope you're right.
But we'll always keep moving that way. At least it seems that that's gonna be in the path of our
Yeah,
quarry. so.
we need to head north anyway. catch these shadow fucks.
And
Trying
yeah,
to think what. Trying to think what would be faster, traveling by carriage or wagon, or on the river with a riverboat.
We're not getting a fucking boat, dude.
yeah,
Get
I know.
over this.
Yeah, we have discussed this a little bit. The river that goes north. You guys did talk. I know we. It's been a while since we've been in this world. That river, you can travel up it till about I believe it's Gedlin. After Gedlin, it is too treacherous of a river for you to travel up. It's at this point at the where it's coming into the lake here, to the saltwater lake. It is calm enough that barges and stuff can travel up to Gedlin, but after Gedlin, it starts to get rocky and narrow, and it just becomes a problem.
All right. Well, never mind on that.
I mean, even so, Gedlin that's a decent chunk. That's
It's a
about
pretty
250
fair
miles.
Yeah.
And you'll be traveling that. I mean, the road that you'll be traveling on basically parallels that river anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So if there's opportunity, I mean, there could be opportunities. Hard to tell at this point, but things to keep in mind.
Yeah.
Well, if you want to figure out how to load a wagon onto a boat, I guess that's we can cross that bridge.
You have to be a big boat or a small wagon.
Well, it's our wagon, so I
Yeah.
don't know. You tell me.
Have to be a big boat.
Let's get the things we need and then figure out from there.
Alright.
Opalam.
Yeah.
And I will place a hand on Oaf's shoulder and just... I will talk to Yarun and see if maybe something can be done to try and help him. Or at least try and find him.
Okay.
Be a lot easier to have a god on our side, you know.
The bow at your back gets a bit colder.
I will... Is there a, graveyard in this town?
Ooh. As you guys are heading towards the market at the crossroads, Kyra, why don't you give me a perception check as you are wandering up that way?
24.
Okay. As you all head towards the market, boop-a-doo-ba-doo-ba-doo. Bup-bup-bup-bup. As you are headed towards the marketplace, you start to see why this town has propped up here. Aside from just having grown around a crossroads, you think you see what might have been the original merchant stall here at this space. As you come into the crossroads and you see a ancient gnarled tree sat right in the center of the crossroads here, and it is old, it is ancient, it is massive, and it has grown over and kind of consumed what looks to be the remains of a cart. The wood has rotted away, but you still see a metal axle in there from the wheels. And there is just a sign on it that just says Market Crossroads. And as you are approaching this area, you do see Kyra kind of in the direction towards where you'll all be heading to go out of town. There does seem to be a familiar grove of trees, of what you're used to.
I will grab Juniper, and I will hand her like 50 gold. I need arrows. Specifically, if you can, enchanted ones.
Enchanted with what?
It doesn't matter. As long as they are enchanted.
Okay. Juniper starts looking for that kind of shop.
You head off to do that. Yeah, Kyra, you're gonna head off to the boneyard.
Yeah.
Okay, Kyra's going to head off. The rest of you, what are you looking for in the market? And we will kind of go through these one by one. If anybody wants to go to similar places, we will roleplay it as such.
So I also wanted to get crossbow bolts.
That'll be in a similar place. Yep.
But I also wanted to see if there was, because it's a fairly large market, right?
Oh, it's massive.
Yeah. So I assume there's probably some dark alleyways where they're selling illicit products as well.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna see if I can discover something like that as well, so
Okay.
I can get some thieves' tools, that kind of thing.
You got it.
Juniper would also like to look for stuff for her herbalism kit.
Got it. Okay.
I gotta climb to the top of that tree and I gotta meditate up there.
Okay.
Juniper also
That's all
says
that
hello
matters.
to the tree as she's walking by.
That's all that matters.
Yeah, as you all get a little bit closer to it, anybody who wants to, who is interested in knowing, go ahead and make a nature check as you check out this tree.
Nope, not good at those either.
No,
But I'll
Juniper
roll
got a
it, fuck it.
4. Juniper's just going to be a little oddball, and she's going to say hello to the tree in Sylvan.
14. That's not bad.
16.
16. Ophalon, you get head up that way, and you're at the moment looking for the best angle to get up. It's not gonna be hard. This tree is ancient and knotted and gnarled. There are plenty of footholds. You can quite literally almost just walk up this tree like stairs to get up to the branches that you would then have to climb. But like the main portion of the stump is going to be a breeze. Interestingly enough, Ewan, even with a roll of a 16, and certainly for the rest of you who rolled lower, this is a completely unfamiliar tree. Its bark and wood is kind of grayish brown, and that could just be the age of it. But you look up and you see the leaves on the branches that cover this marketplace, at least the center of it, in lovely shade, even at this time of morning. The leaves are kind of a bluish green. It's a strange tree, not like anything you've ever seen before.
Guys will be fine at the market. Just see you later. And he's just walking straight towards it.
Yeah. There are plenty of stalls and things set up around this area. As a what is immediately recognizable to everyone in the square, elf just walks right up to this tree, looks at it, and just begins to ascend. No one bats an eye.
This is normal.
This you just whoop, up, Ewan, are you
Oh, there
headed
it goes.
as high up as you can go, or are you going to
High
try?
up as I can go.
You wanna
I feel
go-
the wind
Perfect.
in my
Tippy
being.
top.
I will have
on
you,
tight, spider
just
monkey.
for courtesy's sake, make me an athletics or acrobatics check.
We'll do acrobat.
This is a very climbable tree, so it's not a super high DC.
17.
Ewan vanishes into the upper branches. Ophalon, is there anything in this market that you are looking for today?
Just kind of I'm kind of going over my inventory here. I feel like maybe a better sword or a better weapon of some kind, or somebody that can make my scimitar better.
Okay.
One or the other.
You
I'm willing to change up.
definitely here you can see the telltale smoke of a smithy is around in the market as well. So if you want to head over to the smithy, that is totally fine. We're going to start this little market adventure, yay shopping episodes, with Juniper and Omenda as you head to the Fletcher. You see a cart. There is a cat-like humanoid with kind of lynx-esque features who is there. Arrows, just arrows everywhere, stringed bows, crossbows, all the sorts of things that you would need for distance hunting, fighting, whatever your fancy is.
Well, hello, sir.
The tabaxi looks towards you and says, "Ah, yes, welcome. How may I help you today?"
I'm looking to find some enchanted arrows for a friend.
Enchanted arrows.
If possible.
Not really one for enchanting myself. I do have, and you see he takes a really nice quiver of woven like vine wood. He pulls it down and he pulls out an arrow and hands it to you, and you see like a silver filigree up it. And he says, "I do have silvered arrows. I do also, if you're looking specifically for something magical, I do have this as well." And you see there's a contraption that's almost like a loom behind him, which is a contraption for making bowstrings. And you see he has a couple hanging there, and he says, "These, I did not enchant them myself, but these came to me with a bit of an enchantment on them, and I was told them that I could probably sell them and earn a profit for the both of us. People tend to come to me looking for bows and bowstrings and things, and don't tend to ask for such things at your average magical shop. So I have silvered arrows and I have magical bowstrings, if that's something you're interested in."
Is it any particular magic in the bowstrings?
Yes, of course. I have 3 here.
Hmm.
Also, I have another question. We'll be able to possibly attach those to a crossbow?
It would be difficult to attach it to a crossbow. There's a bit too much material. These are really meant more for a short bow or a long bow sort of situation. But if you like, I can.
What about 2 crossbows?
Well, the problem is, and you see, he takes the string. He takes one of the bowstrings down, and he takes a dagger, and he slices across it, and it does not cut. It is a
okay.
solid piece. And he says, "But what I could do for you is I could put you in touch with my enchanter friend, and he might be able to put a little enchantment onto a crossbow for you."
That actually wouldn't be too bad.
Is
Yes,
that where
yes.
these came from?
Yes, he is a friend of mine from up in Aphonite, and he came down somewhat recently, and we traded tales, and also decided to try and well, like I said, I told him I would try to sell these for him.
Damn, he's far away.
My friend has a
But it is where you guys are going, so
True.
longbow. Yes, Kyra. Longbow.
Kyra's bow is a short or long bow.
Oh,
it's a short bow.
It's a short bow currently.
At the moment, yeah. He
Gotcha.
says, "Wonderful. Well, these are definitely built for that." And so he shows you them. Let's see. Let's see here. This one here, and you see it is has kind of a red tint to it. This is known as a blazing bowstring. It can imbue any arrow with a bit of fire magic. The enchantment is decent, but you wouldn't be able to do it all day. It is a brief amount of times that you could imbue it with this elemental energy.
Okay.
I also have. Oops. This one, and this one kind of has a bluish gray tint to the string, and it's strange because this tabaxi is holding it taut as he's showing it to you, but there seems to be like a slight shiver, like a wave to the string as he's holding it up. This is a bowstring of the Sky Sentinel, imbued with the magic of the Storm Giants. It will allow you to speak a command word, and once a day, your arrow will split into 3 separate arrows that will deal a little bit extra damage on contact with your target.
Interesting. The
And the third boop. Let's see here. The third one is one that is a bit more expensive. This is a Silver Force bowstring. It is, and you see this bowstring does seem to be made almost of spun silver. It glints in the morning sun. This can add a significant amount more damage to an ordinary arrow. And you can use it a few more times than the other two. But it also can do such things as, well, and you see he actually takes the bowstring and strings a short bow with it real quick and aims at a target, and he lets the arrow go, and as the arrow slices through the air, you watch as it breaks the sound barrier and collides with the target and sends the target flying backwards with the arrow stuck in it. And as it hits, it makes a sound, like there's a significant amount more force propelling the arrow forward. And he says, now, the benefit of this bowstring, though it is a bit more expensive, is any arrow that is shot from this bowstring would negate a need for, and he gestures towards the silver arrows, as any bow, or as any arrow that is strung, or that is pulled with this string, becomes silvered.
How much are the silvered arrows?
Oh, the silvered arrows, I could give you this quiver of, there's about 25 in there. I could let that go for, carry the 4. Perhaps about 50 gold, or trade if you have something of interest.
And how much are the bowstrings apiece?
The Sky Sentinel bow string is the cheapest. It comes in at 250 gold. The Blazing bowstring is about 350 gold. And the Silver Force bowstring is 500 gold.
Okay.
While we're on the topic of money, you guys all took the share I told you about earlier, right? It was
Yes,
600 apiece.
everybody should have 600 GP worth of gems.
Yep, I put a sack of gems worth 600 GP in my inventory.
I kept the box. It's mine.
Need
So shiny.
that. Can you just add a bag
Is it
of
even?
gems into your
Not really.
inventory?
No, I custom item.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's in my
Yeah.
other possessions.
For the purposes, Juniper, you can just put 600 gold in there, like in your money.
Okay.
Like I said,
Yeah, I'm just extra.
you're working out, like that is the money you have. It's just in gem form.
Okay.
There's just no need to liquidate it, and then because
I'm
Yeah.
gonna go ahead and give you the 50 for the silvered arrows, and then I'm going to bring my friend back to see which of these bowstrings that she would want.
All right. It is good to know to have an interested customer. And he will hand you over. That is a quiver of, I believe I said 25 silvered arrows. And then the Tabaxi looks towards you, Omenda, and he says, "And what about you, my fine little friend? You were looking for crossbow bolts?"
Yes, indeed. I was actually looking to see if you had any ones that packed a wallop. You know what I mean?
I think I do know what you mean.
Before he gets into it, do you know anybody who sells supplies for herbalism kits?
He says, I believe, and he points across the way. He says, I believe there is an alchemy stall on the far side over there.
Beautiful. I will be back with my friend. And Juniper is going to go find Kyra.
Well,
The-
see ya.
The Tabaxi pulls out a case of like a little box and puts it up on the stall and opens it, and you see a bunch of really well-made crossbow bolts in there. And each one of them has a like a small bag that is double tied to the end of it, not impeding the point, but there's just a small little pouch. It's very small, tied right at the tip. And he says, allow me to show you. And he takes a hand crossbow of his own and he loads one of the pieces of ammo and he points it at a different target and sends this crossbow bolt over. And as the bolt hits the target, you see a small scale explosion from something triggering in this bag to make it go. And you can tell it wouldn't be enough to do damage, but it would knock someone like for a loop if they got hit by it. This is walloping ammunition. Specifically walloping crossbow bolts.
Well, that's mighty fine. How much for those?
He says, this would be... Damn it.
And then I also wanted to look at your there is not a GP on them in the thing I was trying to see. I also wanted to see if there was any other crossbows in there too. Some cool crossbows.
He says he offers you a similar price as the silvered arrows. He says about 50 gold for a case of walloping ammo. And then in terms of crossbows, what do you currently have, Omenda?
I just have a hand crossbow.
A hand crossbow? He has light crossbows, heavy crossbows, and hand crossbows. I don't think Omenda can wield a heavy crossbow because it requires a certain amount of strength to do so.
Yeah, I don't think so. Let me see.
But
Because
you
it's
can.
Jack?
You can.
crossbow and hand. That's it.
Yeah. Oh, that's the only thing you have. You only have proficiency in hand crossbows.
Well, I have proficiency in crossbows and hand crossbows.
Oh, okay.
Like regular hand crossbows. Yeah.
Got it. So yeah, you can. There are light crossbows here as well. The thing to remember is light crossbows do require both hands to wield. A hand crossbow can just be fired in one hand. It does less damage and has less range, but it is more convenient if you're trying to like cast spells and do other things.
Okay.
I will also mention in terms of game mechanics, if you had been looking at the crossbow expert feat, if you eventually get it, if you have a hand crossbow, would allow you to attack twice with your hand crossbow, once as an action and once as a bonus action, if you wanted to, on your turn. It also would eliminate the need to reload your crossbow.
Yeah.
Which is a good feat to have. So he has light crossbows and hand crossbows that you can peruse. He does have the equivalent of +1s of both.
Okay.
So a light crossbow +1 or a hand crossbow +1.
Well, how much are you charging for the light crossbows?
Are you interested in the basic or the +1 or both?
Both, honestly. I want to see if one's way too much. Yeah.
A basic light crossbow comes right in at about 25 gold. and a light crossbow.
Apollo, pull it down.
And a +1 light crossbow. Go ahead and roll 1d6 for me.
Okay. 6.
6. The light crossbow +1 comes in at we will say 3 with a 6. We'll say 300 gold.
Okay.
It's a pricey enchantment.
It is a pricey enchantment. Honestly, I think I'll just go with the regular light crossbow.
Okay.
And the walloping crossbow.
Walloping
bolts.
ammunition.
How many is it in the case?
A case of walloping ammo.
That is a lot of bolts.
Correct.
Or however they come, you know what I mean? However they come. I feel like I should. I'm gonna wield them.
Walloping ammunition. Crossbow bolts. Damn it. A case of ammo is 20 bolt. So you would could get 20 crossbow walloping ammo for, it would be 20 crossbow bolts for 50 gold. Even though you're not getting an enchanted crossbow, the walloping ammo is considered magical, so it would bypass any resistances that people had to non-magical damage.
Tight. Hell yeah.
This would mean for sure keeping track of your crossbow bolts every time you use one.
Oh, I have been. Yep.
Yeah.
So I'm down with that. What does that put me like? Was it 75?
75 for the ammo and the new light crossbow.
Perfect.
Groovy Tuesday.
And then what was the name of that enchanter out in Alphanid?
He takes a scrap of parchment and writes on it. And he just writes down the name Clive Barker and hands it to you. He's a sorceress sort of fellow. Makes his home up there on the edge of the Wilder Land because that is where he can find the best components for his enchanting work.
Alrighty, well. And it was Clive what? Sorry?
Barker.
Sorry, I had it and I lost it. Thank you.
Of course.
I appreciate your patronage.
If you head up that way, tell him that Renwin sent you, and he'll get you taken care of.
Alrighty. Well, thank you very much, Renwin.
Of course. Ophalon, you're headed to the smithy.
Yep.
The smoke is pouring out. This is not like the smithy that you found yourself in Dinas Undad. This is a full outdoor smithy. It's not a stall. It is an outdoor kiln and smelter. Just smoke rising here on the edge of the market. And you see You see a small figure, a couple of small figures working the forge. A little troop of gnomes is manning this forge. These are not forest gnomes like you've seen before. These seem to be rock gnomes. Their masks are carved from stone, and their hoods are pulled up, but they are working away on this forge. Some of them, like two of them at once, are pulling on the bellows to stoke the flame. Another two are both lifting the same hammer. Ting, ting, ting. And as you approach, the one that seems to be manning the front of the area sees you approaching and says,
"Oh, good day, weary traveler. Welcome, welcome. Were you looking to patronize our establishment today?"
Yes, as a matter of fact.
Wonderful, wonderful. What can we do for you?
As soon as he asks that, Ilflon thinks to himself, I probably should have grabbed some of those gems.
you all have your gems.
Right.
They were dispersed. You have 600 GP worth of gems.
I'll make a quick note of that
Mhm.
real fast, so that I don't forget, because I will forget.
Yeah. To kind of keep things simple, these guys have pretty much any weapon that you might want to try out, and they do have up to a +1 in most weapons. So if you were interested in a magical weapon, that is definitely something you could get here. It's not necessarily super powerful enchantment. It would be it would be a magical weapon. They also tell you that
We also, if you're not looking for, the things that maybe do tremendous amount more damage, we do have these as well. They are technically enchanted. This one,
and you see he produces a very fine sickle that is shaped like the crescent moon, and he says,
this here is not particularly more powerful than your average sickle, but under the light of the moon, it does glow with a nice fine light, and we can it's a very rudimentary enchantment, but we can put it on almost any weapon.
Interesting. Out of curiosity, do you have anything particularly unique?
unique, and him and a couple of the other gnomes like,
Unique.
and he looks back up and says,
What do you mean by unique?
Well, I mean, any kind of make of weapon that you would be known, if not necessarily known for, that you'd like to be known for, like a unique model of melee weapon.
unique model, and they all start jabbering amongst themselves again, and he says,
Let us show you what we are the most proud of at the moment.
and he hops down off of the counter, walks away, and then a few seconds later, this little gnome, about 3 of them, come walking towards you with it's a massive curved scimitar-like weapon, but this would be considered a great sword. It's a massive 2-handed scimitar as they bring it up, and they all 3,
1, 2, hop!
and they hop back up onto the counter and place it there, and show it to you. And he says, "This is some of our finest work at the moment. Taken inspiration from some of our desert-faring friends from across the sea on the mainland continent."
Very impressive. May I?
Of course.
I'd like to examine it and kind of, in my head, kind of compare it to the one that I have.
So what you have is a double-ended scimitar, which is a completely different style of fighting than what you would get out of this weapon. This is this is the equivalent of a greatsword. It is lithe and it is built like a scimitar, but it is heavy. And you definitely have the strength to wield it, but this weapon is much more about power and kind of just swinging and putting as much power into it as you can, whereas your double-ended scimitar is a bit more geared towards precise movements and kind of being a bit more quicker. That being said, you are fast enough. Like this sword would not impede your movement speed at all. You're more than strong enough to wield it. It would take a little bit of getting used to. I think this would be Ophalon's first time ever using a weapon this heavy as a primary weapon. I'm sure you've trained with great swords plenty of times. You've trained with
Sure.
many weapons. It's just a little bit different than what you've had, but it is a +1 weapon, and the gnomes tell you,
We would give this to you for we could part with this make for right at about 500 gold.
Okay. Just kind of observing the ones that are working. Do I get the sense that they could improve a weapon if provided?
Are you asking improve a weapon you already have to be a +1 weapon? Is that what
Yeah.
you're asking? Yeah, you inquire about that. The gnome up front says,
Oh, certainly. If we were to enchanting through smithing is a bit of a laborious process. We could improve a weapon that you have, although it may take us a few days to complete. We do also, if you're asking about your current weapon, and he does produce, they do also sell a +1 double-ended scimitar.
How much for this particular item?
For the double-ended one?
Yes.
That's 250.
Would you perhaps be willing to shave some of that off if I traded in this lovely, well taken care of model as well?
See, he scopes out what you have, looks it over up and down. He says,
Yes, we would be willing to come down to 225. This is very well taken care of.
he'll give you a 25 gold discount.
I will accept your offer.
Okay. 225 gold. You now are the owner of a double-ended scimitar +1. which for the purpose, I don't know if that
I don't
item.
think there is a +1.
So keep the one you have and modify it. Go into the
A
you sh-
1 to hit bonus, 1
Yeah.
damage bonus.
Yep. And make sure to just write in the notes. Make sure to write that it is now considered magical. Actually, did you already get that weapon silvered? I think you did. It should be in that same thing. I don't know.
I don't have a note.
It doesn't matter. It's magical now. Cool. Anything else at the smithy for you, Ophalon?
And I've got pretty good armor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think
Wonderful.
that'll do it.
You got it. We're gonna get back to Omenda here in a minute because Omenda had some more surreptitious things. So actually, I'm gonna say this for you, Omenda. You look around, you find some back alley deals. Nothing of a quality that you're looking for. A general goods cart does exist here and does sell what you would need for thieves' tools.
You're just a locksmith.
Yeah, they do sell locksmithing toolkits for, or thieves' toolkits for, right at about I believe they're like 25 gold.
I think that's accurate. Also, off the top of my head, I don't have a fact in front of me.
Let's see. Gear 5e. List. Let's see. Damn you.
It is 25 gold pieces.
Perfect. Yeah. So, Omenda, you definitely can find thieves' toolkits. If you want to, just tell me how many you want to purchase. Just one? You are muted, by the way.
Yeah, just one.
Yeah, I will say this, Omenda, as you're perusing around, this town is, or this particular market is weirdly like, what's the best way to put it? Yeah, there's not a lot of like skeevy shit going on, and it doesn't take you very long to figure that out. And thinking about it, you're like, oh, a bunch of these stalls got robbed about 2 days ago. You're thinking that maybe if there is any like scum or thieves about, they're just kind of chilling for the moment.
Makes sense.
Before we go to Kyra in the graveyard, I want to check in with Ewan at the top of the tree. Ewan, what's up, buddy?
Ewan has assembled all of the little pieces of his project that he's trying to work on. And so, Kyle, I would like to attempt to make a talisman. Very a la the one that we received at the beginning of this campaign. Which I guess, is that still active? It says it lasts. You said it lasted for a month. Has it been a month?
Oh, you guys haven't been traveling for a month yet.
I didn't think so. Okay. But yeah, I'm trying to use the tiger's eye, the vine, the leather, and the duck feathers and down to make a little trinket. Something I'm intending to try to imbue like an absorb elements type effect.
Okay. Let's see.
And as he gets all of this set up here at the top of this tree in a nice quiet space, I will use one of my wild shape charges and summon Iris from my shadow. I will scoop her up out of the brush beneath the trees and just kind of place her in front of me.
Mhm.
All right. I'm going to need a hand with this. I have no idea what I'm doing.
Okay. Ewan, if you were trying to put a bit of magic into this, I'm going to say Absorb Elements is a first level spell. How many spell levels do you want to put into this?
Well,
It's going to adjust the DC the more that you put in.
The more that I put in.
Yes.
Does Ewan have any kind of gauge of how feasible 3 would be?
Make an Arcana check. You know what? Tell me what you got.
I rolled a 9 on the die, so
Okay.
for Arcana that would be an 8.
You do have a familiar that can help you if you
That-
would like to roll with advantage.
That is the intent of having her here.
Mhm.
Okay, that's better. That's a
Better?
10.
A 10. You get so as you are putting this together, you're going to learn you learn a couple of things. You can the more magic that you put into it, the more likely this is going to become a permanent effect of a trinket.
I see.
The less magic you put into it, the more likely it is that it's only going to be usable a few times, and then you're probably going to have to get the supplies to make a whole new one
That makes sense.
at a later
I'm,
time.
I'm definitely more leaning towards the idea of that ladder that you mentioned. And when I say 3 spell levels, I should mention they are 3 first level spells.
Sure, absolutely.
I don't have anything stronger.
And you will be burning those
Mhm.
spells to do this.
Totally.
So if to do 3, if you want to roll for it, I will, because this is you enchanting it, I will make it a it will be based on your wisdom, because that is your spellcasting modifier. To put 3 spell levels in this, we're just going to say DC 16.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Ewan thinks he can hit that. Yeah.
Okay.
In whatever mechanical sense that translates into Ewan's brain. Yeah.
Absolutely.
We'll try
So
this.
go ahead and
Knock them all off.
you can make a spell casting ability check. So that will be your wisdom.
Okay.
Plus you're not, I mean, you've never done this before.
Yeah, so
you're
I
not
wouldn't be
proficient. Yeah.
that makes
So
sense.
just your wisdom. Roll a d20 plus your wisdom. Your familiar can help you.
Hey, that's a 2 on the first one.
Oof.
So let's hope the second's higher. Oh, it is much. That's an 18.
An 18.
13 on the die. Ewan's wisdom is currently a +5 in the summer.
18. That's 2 above what you needed. Go ahead and, for the fun of it, roll me one more d20 and just tell me if you get. Just tell me if it's a 1 through 10 or an 11 through 20.
1 through 10.
1 through 10. You have created a absorb elements trinket that can be used up to 3 times. After the 3rd time, it will cease to function.
I consider this a wild success. This is everything I wanted. Ewan is elated. He picks up the little shadowy creature and hugs her tightly. Oh, this is amazing!
He says, she says, "Oh, yeah, that I don't know what that is, but it worked."
It is shaped like a duck because a duck gave me the feathers for it.
Adorable. What is the tiger's eye portion of the duck?
It's the body of the duck.
That makes sense.
So the little leather straps. So the vine is the actual necklace. It's got a lot like my cords do. It's got like a adjustable cinch situation, and then the leather affixes the tiger's eye to the cord itself, and bits of the and the feather in the down is also affixed by the leather.
Wonderful. Well done, Ewan. And we will head over to Kyra.
Yes, God.
Oops. I've closed to many things. Shit.
Oh,
Boop.
no. Now you've done it.
Let's do. What should we do? What should we do?
You fools, you've messed with the natural order.
Oh, bird, that's cool. What do you sound like? Scarier than I want you to be. There we go. Kyra, you head towards the cemetery here, the graveyard. It is a grove of trees, much like you're familiar with. You know, somewhere within this copse there will be a shrine, but otherwise these trees are planted and dedicated to those that have been interred here. You approach. At the moment, there does not seem to be like anyone tending. It's quite early in the morning, so at the moment there's no one present. But you do make your way in, and you do find the telltale shrine towards the center. A stag's skull bedraped in witch's hair, candles lit with blue flame, continual flame, to keep this place always dedicated to the Iran.
Okay, I'm gonna pull my bow off of my back, and I'm gonna set it before, the stag's head. And I'm gonna, like, get on to my knees and, alright, I, haven't tried to do this super formally yet. I don't know exactly what I'm supposed to say when I'm trying to, like, I need, your help, or guidance, or more of assistance, I guess. And I know I have no place to ask for it, but, you're the only one I really trust.
Line of smoke rises from the incense that you've placed in the center of the shrine, and just a slight flicker back and forth.
Alright, I will, just get to the point. my friend's brother is here on the island somewhere, and he's really badly hurt. Or it might already be dead. I was hoping that if he wasn't already with you, you might be able to let me know. Please.
Kyra, go ahead and make an insight check for me.
$24.
24. You ask your question here before the shrine to the Aran, and you watch as the smoke begins to flicker and move about. Unlike other times that this has happened, as the smoke moves, you're not hearing a voice so much speaking to you, but you're learning to interpret what you see. What you get from this question is a denial. Almost as saying, he is not with me.
Okay. Then, this might be, we think that he's up north in the mountains outside of, what is it called? Oh, what is it called? The Last Bastion. Up in the mountains up there. Somewhere around there, outside of from what Overlon said, outside of a cave. And if anyone can find anything, it would be you and your hounds.
Begins to flicker again. It's like a shrug. As you do recall from the previous conversations you've had that he's in the other world.
Right, but like, you know what I mean. I mean, Taran is in physical form. He's a follower of Nuada. Do you think maybe you could let her know that he's hurt? You all gods talk to each other, right?
You watch not the smoke from the incense. You watch a layer of frost creep across the bow set on the shrine as it becomes very cold. And the smoke begins to just travel straight upward in a line, but it gives another small flicker. Make an insight check.
$18.
This is another reminder.
Of the names.
No. The Aran is, if you recall, worried that he is currently under suspicion.
Ah, right. Right, right. I just want to give him the hope that maybe his brother will survive.
The smoke flickers once again, and you think that this will probably be the last communication you're going to get for this today. As it flits back and forth, the flames of the blue flames of the candles that make up the shrine, this continual flame that never goes out. Very briefly, all of them flash silver and then turn back to blue. The smoke twists and curls, and make one more insight check for me.
Another 18. Sorry.
Another 18. With an 18, the flash of silver is a sign of Nuada, or a reference of Nuada. The smoke is erratic and strange here, like more is being said than you can interpret. But I think what you get from this is someone knows. Someone knows what is happening. Who? Hard to tell. But someone is aware of this person and where they are.
You know, we met, the Lady Fonda. And she offered to send us anywhere. And I almost was selfish and asked to go to the western side of the island. But that would have set us back. I don't know. Thank you for your help.
As the last of the incense burns out and the smoke coils up, like a somewhat gentle breeze takes it and blows the incense smoke towards your face, where it brushes against your cheek before it fades.
Oh, why is it always so emotional whenever I talk to you? I'm gonna set a couple of stag teeth down at the altar to pay, my respects, and then I will pick up the bow and I will head back to my people.
Lovely. You come across Juniper, who is heading that way looking for you.
Ah, what?
How did it go?
Well, we should find Ophalon. I should tell him first.
Fair enough. Here, silvered arrows.
Ah, those will help.
He has enchanted bowstrings. I
Oh, I'm
didn't know
so excited.
which. There are 3 of them. I'm not sure which one you
Oh.
would have wanted, so
I
I
hope
figured
that
I'd
I
come
could
and
actually.
ask.
I'm gonna like hold my bow, and I'm like, I wonder if he'll actually let me put a new bowstring on this.
Also that.
Doesn't the bow not have a string currently?
It kind of has like a It almost glows whenever she pulls an arrow through it. There's not actually like a whole physical string.
I will say on the bow, there are notches at the bottom and top for it to be strung.
Oh, well, I guess I can just give it a shot. And I will first go find Ophalon.
Yeah, you start to head back towards the or you head back into the market. Kyra, make a perception check. With disadvantage because it is daytime.
$13.
13.
It was a 19 plus 5 first.
Ewan, make a perception check from the top of the tree.
17.
Omenda, make a perception check.
Ooh, that's a natural 20.
Natural 20, we like to hear that.
Total 27.
Juniper, make a perception check.
That's a 10.
A 10. Juniper and Kyra, the two of you walk into the market and begin looking around trying to locate Ophalon. Ewan, from your vantage point atop the tree as you're finishing these things and you're like, it's getting close to time to get ready to leave. You start looking around for people and you see Ophalon like walking away from the smithy, holding something shiny and new. And you see him just kind of walking, and he starts walking past the stalls, kind of around. And Omenda, you also see this from across the way, like on the opposite side of the tree from where Ophalon is. You see Ophalon, and you're like, okay, good. Everybody's kind of heading in the similar direction. With a natural 20, Omenda, you see everybody.
Yeah.
You see Juniper and Kyra walking in, and you also see Ophalon. And Omenda and Ewan, the two of you see Ophalon kind of admiring this new weapon that he has gotten a hold of. And you watch as he passes in front of not a stall in the market, but like a building, one of the larger buildings here at the crossroads, actually. He bumps shoulders with a figure in front of this space. Ophalon, as you're walking along, you're checking out your new weapon and like, yeah, this is pretty cool. And you feel your shoulder like nudge somebody who, I mean, doesn't like much. I mean, you're a hardy fellow. You don't, get pushed around, and neither does this person that runs into you. It's like two rock walls hitting each other as you bump shoulders, like and you turn and look at this person, and you see a tall it's a tall tiefling man, kind of like olive tinted skin, with dark horns and hazel eyes, and black hair. He's wearing some simple armor, and he looks at you and he says, "Hey, Billy, what are you doing here?" And he turns and he looks over his shoulder and he says, "Hey lads, Billy came back." And he turns around and he socks you as hard as he can in the face. I'm gonna roll to hit. Oh, he might miss though.
Omenda just built different. Oh, Ophalon. Never mind. I apologize.
I was like, it's not
Good.
me.
It's the O's.
Good.
Might have a reason to get use out of this new crossbow.
He whiffs on his punch, but on his attempt to follow up with a headbutt, does an 18 hit.
Yes. Can I silvery barbs him?
You are unfortunately considered surprised for this.
But even for the second swing,
You only take 2 points of damage from the headbutt.
that's fair.
Get headbutted, man.
I need everybody to roll initiative.
Damn. All right.
And
Alrighty.
wait to tell me what we're doing here. Okay.
Damn.
Okay.
I'm rolling good today.
We will do. Boop. Boop.
Dude, the range on this crossbow is insane, honestly. 80 to 320 feet.
All right. So. Boop.
The gaming discourse of the day: who'd win in a fight, Joel from The Last of Us or Leon from Resident Evil 4?
Leon.
Leon.
Joel's old.
Leon can parry a chainsaw with his knife.
He can parry a chainsaw
True.
with a fucking Bowie knife, and he's still only like in his 30s. Joel's an old man. Even if you choose his best of timelines,
Yeah,
he's
but-
still an old guy.
Leon doesn't need a golf club, am I right, folks?
Juniper.
I rolled a 6.
Ewan.
21.
Omenda.
23.
Ophalon.
21.
Kyra.
Natural 20.
For a total of.
27.
Okay.
You have a +7 to your initiative?
Yes, she does.
Jesus
How?
Christ!
I
Ranger,
thought mine was
baby.
high. I have a +5. It's true. Ranger does get some.
Fuck
good- I know
wild.
one of the
Do you have the
pluses of
alert
Ranger.
feed, Kyra?
If you don't, you should take alert.
Wild.
Okay.
Always be alert.
All right. All of you, if you would please open maps on D&D Beyond.
Ooh, pressing the play button.
Hell yeah, brother.
Press.
Valerie, correct me if I'm wrong. Did you also take counterattacker?
No.
Oh, okay.
I have it on there to remember to take it when I get leveled up.
Ah, okay. It's cool, isn't it?
I don't add it to it, though.
I need something to drink.
That's
Be
a
right
cool
back.
feat.
Got
I
it.
think breaking the feet in half makes it a lot more balanced.
Oh, there it goes. Okay, I fixed it. It's all good. I'm just a little tokied.
No worries.
Hell yeah,
We're
sister.
going
Actually,
to Ophalon, Juniper, and Kyra are coming back from this direction. Oops. Omenda is gonna be over here. All right.
Actually, what gives me the +7 is my Dread Ambusher, because I'm a
Gloomstalker.
A Gloomstalker Ranger.
My battle cut.
All right.
It's a good cut, brother.
Everybody see the map?
Si,
Yep.
senor.
Wunderbar.
I low-key got a sneak peek a little bit ago.
Oh, and Kyra, Taran is with you. So there's a dog. Then we will also add Bramble. And the shadow hair.
You have your own. Get rid of this one.
Perfect.
Nice.
All right. And all of you just verify, Ewan, can you move the shadow hair that I
Oh, no.
placed on the map?
Let me check. I think everybody can move everybody.
Perfect.
Yes, I can move that one.
Wonderful. And Juniper, I've put Bramble near you as well. As we begin our combat, we are in a surprise round for everybody except for Omenda and Ewan. So Omenda, why don't you go ahead and take your turn, because you will be at the top of, or without the
Right.
in the surprise round, you'll get to go first. As you watch from way across the way here, you see, actually I'll move you because you're more like here. You can see through under the branches of the tree, you watch as Ewan, or as Ophalon has a punch thrown at him. The guy misses, or the tiefling misses, and then fully headbutts, and they meet horns here in front of this building.
Oh, the click. Oh.
Okay. I'm honestly well within range with my new crossbow.
Yeah, you are.
So what I'll do is I will. Am I or the thug obscured by the branches at all?
The thug would currently be considered to have half cover unless you were to move kind of to the northwest a little bit.
Or to go like right over here, probably. Let me see. This is about. Oh. How do I move the tokens?
You should be able to just click on the token and move it.
It no let me.
Click and hold as you drag it.
Yeah. It's just
Really?
moving the whole map.
Oh, you have the pan tool activated, probably, if it's moving the whole map.
What do I gotta do? Press the.
Just click it again. Just
yeah.
click it again and it'll turn it off.
Up in the top right.
Oh,
or
I see.
Top left, yeah. There you go.
There you go. That should be about 30, I think. Right there. Honestly, I can move more. I can move about right here. And then I will whip out the new crossbow. And shoot it at the guy, honestly.
Okay.
Let me go ahead and look at my stuff for that. So I gotta load it. So I gotta use my bonus action to load it, and I'll load it with my walloping bolts. And then I'll use my action to shoot. That is a dirty 20.
Oh, definitely hits.
And then it is 1d8 plus 4. 10 damage, and then he has to make a strength saving throw, I believe. Let me see.
Okay. It's a 17.
He succeeds.
Yeah.
It's sadly only a 10.
Yeah, the arrow boom strikes, and you see boom. He's like, oh fuck. but he doesn't. He just kind of like stands there, and it looks like it shook him to get hit by that, but he does not get knocked prone.
All right. And that'll be all of my turn.
You got it, Ewan.
How tall is this tree that I'm in?
Ooh, you're easily about 35 feet up.
Oh, 35. Oh, way less than I thought it was. Honestly, let's do this.
It's more of a wide base of a tree than it is super
getcha.
tall.
Fuck it. Hey, you see that guy down there? Let's go give him a really shitty time. And as I say that, Ewan is going to use his bonus action to wild shape.
Okay.
And I am going to wild shape into a quickling.
A
A shadow hair, specifically.
sure.
To be honest. And we're both gonna run down there and give him a bad time.
You got it.
I don't know what check you would like for me to perform as I attempt to sprint downwards, because that is not an ability a quickling has.
You are running excruciatingly fast straight down.
Yeah.
I'd like you to make an acrobatics check for me as a quickling.
Quickling does have better dex than I do, that is a 16.
A 16? Yeah, make it to the bottom, no problem.
Tumbling on down, we're gonna roll up to this guy, and she's gonna go high, and I'm gonna go low. And I'm just gonna start going for weak points, so I'm gonna like go for his knee, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Just come tumbling down. I think like coming out of a little roll, I'm just gonna try to kick him in the knee.
You got it.
That is a 22.
22
My
hits.
fist. Actually, fire. Dex and fire. Think about that. He takes. So it is 8 points of bludgeoning damage as I just kick him in the knee.
You got it.
And I'd like to do that 2 more times.
Okay.
So the next one is a 20 to hit,
Yeah, hits.
and the last one is also.
Okay.
So that's 8 points of damage to his other knee, we'll say,
Okay.
and another 8 point. Wow, just that guy loves twos. Loves twos all the time. An 8. Yeah, another 8. As I just repeatedly kick him. Let's say the last one. Also in the same way.
Yeah. You run down to this guy, hauled off and punch Ophalon, and in this new quickling form, you find yourself throwing punches faster than you've ever thrown before. Your companion also joining in on this. As you boom, 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 take him out at the knees, and this guy goes, "Ah, fuck!" and he just falls down on his side. Incapacitated. He's out of the fight. He's just clutching at his leg like, "Oh shit, fuck, ow!"
You just get a little thumbs up from the one of the two that has antlers, before they like duck off into a bush to hide somewhere. I don't have any actions to hide, but they're just gonna run off into a bush.
Alright, those are the two of you that get to go on the surprise round. The rest of the assholes, though, walking down this road over here, and now you all get kind of a look at what's happening here. The thug that was just pummeled by a small rabbit, a couple of small rabbits, was a large, imposing tiefling. You see another tiefling, very similar in size and shape and appearance. You see a whoops, where did it go? You see a bunch of nonsense. You see a half-orc archer who is kind of over here by where Ewan has gone to hide. You see a half-elven individual in full knight's armor over here. There is also another half-elf, but much, much older, who is the priest that is on the field near the door. You see a human, kind of swashbucklery type, wielding 2 swords, also near the door. And all of them have been alerted to this kind of cacophony of nonsense that is going on. And one of their members has just fallen right down onto the ground, incapacitated for the remainder of this fight. As Ophalon, you just got like headbutted and you kind of like shake your head, and then all of a sudden 2 rabbits run down a tree, take out the guy's knees, and he just falls in front of you. And then
Am I still dreaming?
the half-elven knight is going to stride forward with their stride forward, and they have a great sword strapped onto their back, but you watch as they just pull out a simple mace and they walk towards you and they say, "We told you to get the fuck out of this town, Billy." And come up and he's gonna take a couple of swings at you.
God damn, Billy, what'd you do?
Does
Billy's got a gun.
Does a 13 hit, Ophalon?
What was that?
Does a 13 hit?
13 does not hit.
What about a 21?
Yes, that hits.
Okay. That's going to be 1d6 plus.
I know that's probably supposed to look like armor, but the icons for the thugs, they look like Sontarans.
A little bit, yeah.
From Doctor Who, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
Goddamn potato head motherfuckers.
You take 6
Dude.
points of damage as this knight walks up. He whiffs again. This guy whiffs on the first one, but on the second one, he swings it around and it clobbers you in the shoulder, Ophalon.
Motherfucker, when I get to start swinging back, I'm gonna fuck you up.
After that, the priest, the elderly half elf, is going to stand there and goes, "Oh dear, this is a problem." And they're going to take their staff and tap it on the ground, and they're going to cast. They're going to cast a quick healing word on the thug that went down, which is.
He did get roasted real quick.
That was a mistake.
The
I'll
thug,
just suffer more.
the thug is going to regain a measly 3 hit points.
I can give 5 to all of you.
But
right
he is
now.
still prone. That's his turn. The swashbuckler. Whoops. The swashbuckler whips out a rapier and a dirk, and rushes forward. and looks like she's going to rush it. Or hold on.
The swashbuckler?
He looks like he's going to rush at you, Ophalon, but then he kind of takes off in another direction, and he's going to run over this way. And Ewan, he is going to take a couple of stabs at your shadow hair form. First with the dagger. That's going to be a 24 to hit.
24 does hit.
That's 8 points of piercing damage.
All attack rolls have disadvantage on me because my blurred movement.
Yep. That's still I rolled the same. I rolled
Same thing. Totally fair.
So you take 8 points of damage from the dagger.
Okay, that's almost the entire Quickling health pool.
And then the rapier attack at disadvantage. A natural 2 will not hit with the rapier, as it you're just getting used to this form and you're trying to get ready to dodge, and it this human's surprisingly quick and does manage to slash you with the dagger, and then comes in with the rapier, but you do manage to dodge out of the way. As the rapier kind of sticks into the ground for a moment, and he says, "Ah, damn it! Stand still, you little fuck!" And he calls back over his shoulder. He's like, "Since when did Billy have fucking rabbits?" At the end of their turn, Thug A, the tiefling that went down already had his surprise round, so he's going to remain prone. The other tiefling, who can only be his brother, is going to look around kind of stupidly and just walk over, and all he's going to do on his turn is just help his brother up. Use his action to help his brother get to standing and say,
"Right, Centaurans.
Right, we've got to. You should get taken out by fucking rabbits, mate." Just kind of pats him on the side of the face. Is like, "Let's figure it out." That's their go. And then the half-orc archer, having caught sight of Omenda in the distance, she is going to string her longbow and call to the two tieflings and just say, "Duck, lads!" and fire an arrow off towards Omenda. She's actually going to fire 2 arrows in quick succession. The first one is a 14 to hit. Or no, yeah, 14 to hit.
Let me see really quick. 14 does not hit.
Okay. And then on the second attack, I presume an 8 does not hit.
No.
However, she does have an ability called Archer's Eye. She's going to roll a d10 and add it and try to see if she can hit you with that.
Okay.
No, I still don't think it's gonna hit. Yeah, it's less than the 14. So both arrows streak past you, Omenda, and she's like, "Ah, fuck."
And I just got this one.
And that's going to bring us to the top of the initiative. Out of the surprise round, Kyra, that's your go.
I ain't even decided her in yet.
Yeah. So, can I make the inference that all of these motherfuckers are working together?
Make a perception check.
That's a 9.
A 9. They're all, even with a 9, I mean, they're all gathered around this same building up here, which is the one that the priest is near. That's where they all are kind of coming from.
Alright, I'm gonna whistle for Taran.
Okay.
And I'm gonna, have him just run up to the priest.
Okay.
And just, like, intimidate him.
Okay.
Just to be like, put him in his place. Real
Sure.
quick. Because I don't want to fight if we don't have to fight.
Yeah.
Because some people were trying to get money and, whatever.
Yeah. You should be able to move Taran yourself.
Okay.
And if you want to send him up there, that should be. Yeah, that's about 55 feet.
I think he's got a 50 feet, so.
50 feet. Yeah. Perfect. And you just want to have him growl?
Yeah, I want him to be a big, scary dog.
Why don't you go ahead and have Taran make a intimidation check?
Okay. Can I argue that because Taran is a very big dog, I intimidate with strength?
If you would like to add his strength modifier. I mean, normally I would say yes if he was
Pinning
performing
them?
a feat of strength while
True,
doing this.
that's
This
valid.
is just him running up and growling.
Okay. That is a
Have him rip a tree out of the ground.
He's not that big of a dog.
It's not that big of a dog.
It's a big tree.
Not that tree.
It was a 3.
A 3. Taran gets up there and starts to growl. Taran is intimidating. He's a really big dog. You think this priest is very old and just doesn't see him. He's just real nearsighted.
There might be some thunder coming. I think I hear it rumbling in the distance. Might be rain.
I believe it is your bonus or
I still have it. It is a free action to move Taran.
to move Taran.
Yeah,
That's
to
right.
to have him do the things. But since my dog did not do the job that I needed it to, I'm gonna just aim between the two thugs.
Mm-hmm.
And I will instead, with my stupid charisma, intimidate them. And just, would you like me to roll?
Yeah, so you are intentionally missing,
Mhm.
but you're just trying to get their attention with it?
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm gonna
yeah.
just sink the arrow between the two of them.
First things first, roll an attack for me.
Uh, 17?
17?
Yeah.
Yeah. You send your arrow. It just goes sailing right. You probably can't get it between the two of them. You could aim at their feet.
That's what I was doing, yeah.
Okay.
Was
Yeah,
just
so
to
the
sink
arrow
it- Yeah.
sinks into the ground. The two of them like look down at it and then look over in your direction because they saw one of them got hit by a crossbow bolt, and then
Mhm.
this is a much bigger arrow.
Yeah.
And just like, huh? And the two of them turn and look, and they see you a fair distance away. What are you doing? Are you doing anything else to try and intimidate?
I'll
in this
knock
instance?
another arrow and with it pressed against my mouth, try it again.
Go ahead and roll intimidation for me.
With advantage? Because I just slotted an arrow between the two of them.
Hold on 2 seconds. So, the problem is these guys are really dumb. So I'm going to roll a d20. If it's below a 10, for them, they're just. If it's, you're going to get to roll your intimidation either way, but I'm deciding whether it's a straight roll or with advantage
Okay.
because they're stupid enough that you have disadvantage on the intimidation because they don't fucking get it. They don't get what's going on, really. Roll with advantage.
Hell yeah.
Hey, they are smarter than they look.
Yeah.
That's a 21 for intimidation.
The two of the two thugs like look at each other, they look back at the arrow, and they look at you. And the one who's still like really fucked up, that's closest to Ophalon, just kind of like holds his hands up in the air, and he's like, "Oh, Billy, when did you get more friends?" And he just kind of like drops his mace, and the other one doesn't drop his mace, but he steps behind his brother in like a full like his fucked up brother. Is that all you want to do on your turn, Kyra? Do you want to move?
I will also move up.
Okay.
20, 25, 30. And I'll just keep the arrow knocked.
Yeah. You got it.
Yeah.
Omenda, that's your go.
Ooh, again, nice. I will, on my turn. I didn't think I was gonna go this soon. Shit. Fuck. I didn't think hard enough.
Juniper, dead last in initiative.
Did you still roll really well though?
I rolled a 6.
Oh no, dead last. I thought you meant amongst us. Rough.
Yeah, rolling
so-
low on initiative and there being a surprise round is always the worst.
Yeah. Do the other people, they also look like they're not going to attack, or is it just the thugs?
Right now, the thugs are the only ones that have been intimidated.
Okay. I will, I'll go ahead and, how far is it? Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and, I'm just gonna go run in front of, in between the knight and the priest.
Mm-hmm.
And he's gonna turn to the, and he's gonna turn to the knight, and he's going to, cast suggestion at the knight, and he's gonna say, you should go hit your friend over there. In reference to the priest.
Mm-hmm. Trying to get him to go attack his friend?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's make a wisdom saving throw.
Making sure. Okay. A wisdom save?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's make 15.
Has to make a 15. Is a half elf, so we'll have advantage on the against the charm.
Dang.
Rolled pretty shitty though.
Ooh, that's good.
17. Nope, 7. Not
Ooh.
17. 7.
Goddamn. Scared me. Ooh. Fails.
Okay. Good to know.
And then Kyle, I wanted to ask you a question.
Uh-huh.
With the water skin of that water from the Wilderlands.
Uh-huh.
Since it's like a full water skin, would you say that I would be able to splash it multiple times?
I mean, you have the equivalent of like a canteen filled with water, like a water skin.
Yeah.
You kind of have to regulate yourself because like a canteen or a water skin is meant to last you the majority of a day's worth
It says
of
it holds
water.
4 pints.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you know, being that it is a
4
water.
pints is a good amount.
It is a good.
It's half a gallon.
It's half a gallon. That is true. But being that it is a water skin and not like an actual canteen, it's a little bit harder to control how much comes out at once. You can do whatever you want to do with this, but you're probably gonna spend the water when you use
Okay.
it.
Would this take an action for me to like not take the like stopper off? So it's like, it was like a stopper versus.
That's an object interaction.
Yeah,
That's
so it'd be an
free on
action.
your turn. Yeah.
Oh, it's free on my turn. Oh,
You can uncork it as an action. Absolutely.
Oh, I was gonna ask if I could stab a hole through the top and use it to make a squeezer, kind of like a little water gun.
I would call that also an object interaction. That's fine.
Okay, yeah. Can I do
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, if you want to just make a hole in the water skin to be able to use it easier on your next turn, go for it.
Yeah, definitely.
Anything else on your
Straight
turn?
in his mouth.
Nope, that's it.
Okay. Ewan,
Yes.
that's your go.
All right. This motherfucker almost killed my little hair form, and that's quite rude. We're gonna beat him up.
Okay.
That's the goal here. So does an 18 hit this young lad?
An 18 does hit.
Okay.
Let's see. Yes, an 18 does hit.
For 8 points of bludgeoning damage.
Got it.
Another 18.
Okay.
And the last one is much lower though. 17? Not 17. Yes, 17.
17 to hit.
Yeah.
Just hits.
Ooh, sweet. Another 8 and he got it. So 16 total for the last 2 attacks.
Okay.
Is he still standing?
Oh yeah.
So
he's still-
repeatedly kick this guy. All right. There's a moment as Ewan lands where he looks up and the guy isn't falling over, and one of the feet finds itself like hanging upwards in the air, very a la like crane style type stuff.
Mhm.
And I'm gonna use a flurry of blows and kick him 2 more times.
You got it.
Am I able to maneuver? She's with me. She can provide assistance on one of these attacks, right?
Can give you assistance on one attack. Yes.
All right. I rolled very bad on that. I rolled better. Let's go.
True, Paul.
A tarnished 20.
A tarnished 20 definitely hits.
All right. And the last attack is a natural 20.
Okay. Roll that damage.
All right. So the tarnished 20. It is a low roll. We only get 5. That's not math, Jacob. That's wrong. 7 points of damage.
How much total?
7 for the first one. For the crit, it's 8.
8. Got it.
Minimum damage on the last 2.
The swashbuckler is hurt, but is still standing.
The hair just like plants itself and just gives come at me motions for a second before getting back up.
Yeah, you hit into this young human man, and he like wobbles a little bit. And he's like, "What the fuck is wrong with this rabbit? Why's it got horns?" And then is that the end of your turn, Ewan?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Ophalon Thalamore, chaos has erupted around you. The guy that headbutt you got his knees kicked out by rabbits, then got picked up by his presumably brother, and is now standing there staring in Kyra's direction with his hands raised with no weapon. Ophalon, before you take your turn, I want you to make a perception check for me.
Okay. I'm not great at those. 13?
13? You take a look around Ophalon, and you're just like, what the fuck is going on? And you see all of these strangers that have been, have now engaged in combat with you and your allies. And you notice, most specifically on the tiefling in front of you, a symbol on a chain dangling from his neck. And you notice the same one on the other tiefling. To the untrained eye, it would look something like a large rosary cross, almost. But from your martial expertise, Ophalon, you see that they are wearing what is the crossguard of a sword, just the crossguard, as like a pendant. And out of the corner of your eye, above this building that you're standing in front of, you see that same symbol, a crossguard, up above the door. And it is your turn. You may do whatever you wish, as these people have just been calling you Billy and saying that, you know, they seem to recognize you in some way.
Well, let's see here. I'm gonna draw my scimitar out off my back, and I'm gonna hold the blade up to the neck of the one that's in front of me that's staring at Kyra.
Yeah.
Because he's not looking. My name isn't Billy. What's going on?
Make a persuasion check with advantage, Ophalon.
That's natural 20.
Hey, we like to hear
20,
that.
For 26.
This tiefling, sees the blade come under a second, his eyes flick over to you, and it's like, what you mean you're not...
I want to communicate with my eyes. Don't move.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. He's standing stock still, and he's like, what you mean your name's not Billy? I fucking saw you 2 days ago. And then he points his other hand over towards Omenda. I saw that one too.
Where?
What do you mean where? You came in and you started trying to beat the shit out of people in the guild hall. That's what you got time for in terms of conversation. That didn't take your action. I would say that to have this little conversation... No, this is all just vocal. This doesn't take your action or your bonus action. You still have an action and a bonus action.
Okay.
If you would like to burn your action or your bonus action, I'll let you get a little bit more conversation in if you like. Just keeping in mind this is a 6-second bit of time.
I'm going to instead... I'm going to pull my sword back quickly, and I'm going to, at the top of my lungs, I'm just going to shout, "Stop!"
Oh. Big shout. Panic, if you will. Go ahead and... because this is fun for me, Ophalon, could you make a charisma check for me?
Just charisma?
Just a charisma check.
Okay. That's a dirt twunt.
Dirt twunt. As Ophalon breathes in and shouts, Ophalon, inheriting the inherent abilities of your people, you learn the thaumaturgy cantrip as you shout as loudly as you can, and it echoes throughout this entire market as you yell, "Stop." That is your action. You still have a bonus action? If you want. You don't have to use it if you don't like.
Yeah, no, I will simply stop. Holding my scimitar above my head with both hands.
You got it. The end of your turn. The knight has been charmed. And it looks at you, Amanda, and then it looks over at his buddy, and he says, I don't really want to hit him. And then he hears Ophalon's you see, your charm took effect, Omenda, but he is charmed, which means he considers you an ally, but he still considers his friend to be an ally. So he looks over at him and he's like, "What?" And then with your suggestion and Ophalon's shout, you watch as this knight just fully is startled and drops his mace into the ground, and he doesn't go for his greatsword. He just kind of stands there like, "What the fuck is going on?" Let's see. Or I should say she. The half elf and the knight is a female half elf. And then the priest on his turn is gonna roll to see if he's also deaf. He's not. He does hear the shout. And
Imagine
he is
so old you don't get thaumaturged.
Yeah. And he is going to, on his turn, because he is so startled, cast Sanctuary on himself. That is the end of his turn.
The panic level 1 sanctuary. I was doing that earlier.
The swashbuckler is a bit more pig-headed. Oh no, my dice!
And
I'm
he's
actively
fighting a
goading
rabbit.
him too.
Yeah.
Stop that.
The swashbuckler is going to make 2 attacks against you, and ooh, natural 20.
Ooh,
2
again.
natural
I'm gonna
20s.
use
2
lucky
natural
on
20s.
Yeah,
both
2
of
natural
those.
20s.
No, he doesn't. Reroll both of those. God, no.
Reroll both of them?
I'm gonna use a luck point on each. Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely not. I,
mean,
will not be crit
he's
twice
just
in a row by this
dang.
guy.
I will say this. Only use 1 because he was already rolling at disadvantage. So
That's
if he's
true.
lower than a natural 20, it's still going to be the lower one.
That's fair. That's fair.
That is still a natural 19, however. It's not a
That's
crit.
Ludicrous. It's not a crit though. This guy's messing me
Silver
up.
barbs. No, I'm kidding.
That's just with the dagger. So that's going to be another 8 points of piercing damage.
The Fey hair form drops.
And you grow into a full-sized Ewan as the swashbuckler looks at you and looks down at the other little rabbit that just kind of melts into your shadow now, and he's like, "Shit, you're not a rabbit."
You fucked up.
And he's going to take a stab at you with his rapier.
He's supposed to figure out what it is. He's like,
Does the 17 hit, Ewan?
No.
Yeah. He just takes another stab with the rapier. He's getting a little pissed off that he can't hit with his bigger sword. It's like, what the fuck? The thugs are both intimidated. Juniper, that is your turn.
hell yeah.
Oh.
I'm really sorry.
Alright, the thugs are intimidated. The knight and priest have been startled.
Yep.
But the swashbuckler is still attacking.
Yes. From where you are at, even that far away, you can see a flash of blades on the opposite side of the tree over there.
Okay. Oh, question about Bramble.
Mm-hmm.
Because Bramble gets his own turn.
Bramble is a familiar.
And it says in combat, a familiar rolls its own initiative and acts on its own turn.
Yes. For ease of initiative, I always just say your familiar goes right after you. Or I consider your familiar's turn to be the same initiative as yours. So you can have Bramble go before you, or you can have Bramble go after you. But I believe it does take a bonus action for you to command a familiar.
Hmm.
I will check that, but I think that is the case.
Okay.
Find.
Dude, the music
familiar.
restarted and I got activated.
I think you can just telepathically command it. I think it costs an action if you do anything like because you can like cast spells through your familiar.
Right. Your familiar.
But I think just to have it move around and do stuff.
Dismiss it. See through your familiar's eyes. Oh, no. Yeah, so it takes its own turn. You can command it, you can control it, tell it to do whatever you want. And specifically because you are a warlock, you can command your familiar to attack if you want.
Okay.
Because you are a Pact of the Chain warlock.
All I'm going to do for Bramble's turn is have him crawl onto Juniper's shoulder, and he's going to cast Verdant Blessing to give Juniper an additional 5 feet.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
For speed. Fey Wild Feet. Give Minor Boon until long rest, or until my musket is reduced to 0 hit points. Okay, cool. So that gives Juniper 40 feet of
Groovy.
walking speed. So how far up can she get with 40?
Each square is 5 feet.
Should have just had the knight give me all her money.
40.
Quick rob real quick.
Okay, so I
Just
can
real
get
quick.
about
Welcome,
get
give me
about
your money.
As a treat.
here.
Yeah, you can get to there.
Give me all your money.
Bramble is right there next to her. So I'm about. Okay, let's see. Ooh.
I will also remind everybody, because Baldur's Gate has reminded me of the actual rules of ranged combat. You have disadvantage on ranged attacks against everyone if someone is within 5 feet of you, because they are threatening. And that includes your Eldritch Blast, just so you know.
Gotcha.
Other spells that don't require a ranged attack, totally golden. No worries.
I was gonna cast Suggestion on the swashbuckler.
Okay.
Have him give you his money.
No.
What is your suggestion? It must be worded as to sound reasonable.
How about we stop fighting and have a conversation?
Okay.
And that is a wisdom save of 16.
Wisdom save of 16. Ooh. No, he got a 14. You
Lance just
cast.
wants to fight.
No, he failed.
Never mind.
Yeah, your DC is 16. He got a 14 total. So he has no plus to wisdom. And you send this his way, and Juniper, though you did not get to go until the very end, you do end combat as the swashbuckler hears you speak, and the magic goes into him, and you just watch him like his shoulders drop, and he just takes the dirk and puts it away, and he puts the rapier away and raises his hands as well. It's like, fine, let's talk. And we're out of combat.
Yeah. Hell yeah, dude.
Whoop, whoop.
And we will go back to our.
I had the stream in battle mode. I was like, let me just.
Hell
turn it
yeah,
up a little.
dude. Actually, what does this guy sound like? Yeah, that's good. As all of this kind of happens, we'll say because it was still on this turn, Ophalon's shout has just finished in this moment, as all of you kind of stop, and all of these mercenaries have dropped their weapons and such. All of the people in the market have all ran to the other side away from all of this, and what's going on?
Valid.
But all of these people are all kind of standing there. The swashbuckler is bloodied from Ewan's onslaught, but is still standing. And the other thug, the initial thug, looks really fucked up. And oddly enough, both of them fucked up by rabbit feet. And they're all just kind of standing around. And the knight, the half-elven woman, she doesn't draw the sword, but you see she does just kind of take her hand and put it back on the great sword hilt. She doesn't draw it, but she just stands there and she's like, right, well, you came back with friends, eh? And she's staring right at you, Ophalon.
Do I still have? Am I still thaumaturged?
Thaumaturgy is an action. It lasts 6 seconds.
It says duration 1 minute.
Oh, I mean, if you want to keep talking at the top of your voice, you absolutely can. Your point has been made.
I go, I and at least one of my compatriots, although now it seems like there might be more than one, have been subject to having our faces stolen by a group of shape changers. I can assure you that it was not us who came to your clubhouse and started a ruckus.
First time I've been here.
That's what I just said, Amanda, but yes.
Make a persuasion check with advantage, Ophalon.
Yeah. Actually flex my charisma. I go with 16 plus 6 for 22.
16 plus 6 for 22. The half-elven knight, she kind of stands there and she still looks kind of suspicious. But the other tiefling brute, he kind of screws up his face in concentration and thinks real hard. And he's like, "Hey boss, wasn't the little frog that was with Billy the other day, wasn't they more like red than this one? And the knight like looks over towards you, Omenda, and looks you up and down and says, "Huh. Shape changers, you say?"
Hey.
Right.
We just got in last night. You can ask the innkeeper, and Juniper gestures back towards the peacock.
Sure. They all kind of look at each other and they say, "Right, okay." And the swashbuckler is like, "So what are you saying? That there's like what sort of shape changers?"
Changelings.
Shit? No, shit. That's not. Oh, all right. They all kind of simmer down. The knight takes her hand off of her sword, and she kind of tentatively takes a step forward, and she says, "Right, I'm Ava Keats. I'm the guild master here for the Crossguard. I'd like to apologize on behalf of my associate." And she points towards the initial tiefling that had that had headbutted you, Amenda. Mormo is a bit of a, well, let's just say the one known as Billy, who had your face, and points at you, Ophalon. Well, really gave Mormo a bit of a thrashing yesterday or the other day. So you have to. I mean, he was looking for. It seemed deserved, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I understand that.
I can certainly tell you now that unless we were doing so for recreational purposes, I would not have used my fists to inflict damage upon Mormo, was it?
You see, he looks at you, he's like, "Yeah, Mormo," and he jerks his thumb over to his brother behind him, and that's Deca.
I wasn't though. I'll break your fucking knees if you touch my friends again.
Just for fun, I'm going to use one of my speed bursts to draw pretty thoroughly flourish and then re-holster my scimitar, and say if I was going to just attack you, I would probably have used this and not my fists.
They all watch you do this, and the two tieflings kind of take a step back. The swashbuckler like nods in appreciation of what you just did, and it's like, yeah, you know, Billy didn't fight like that. Billy had just a shitty rapier, kind of. Well, it wasn't shitty. It was well, it was a pretty good. Either way, he didn't fight with that.
And I would love to see it for myself. So if any of you have any inkling where they might have scampered off to after your little squabble, I would appreciate it if you could tell me.
At this point, the half-orc woman with the longbow strides up, and she just says, "Well, they made a mess of town. They lit the ferry on fire. They came and started a brawl here, and then it took..."
When you say ferry, that's with 2 R's, right?
She points back down towards the docks to the ferry that you all knew was burned. She says...
There might have been more than one.
She says, no, it took our guild and then the city guard combined to chase the fuckers out of town.
Which way?
She points to the west towards where you can see out, just like way out past town, is a bridge that seems to cross the river that feeds down into the lake.
Thank you. With a little bit of luck, within the next week or so, if we can catch up to them, I can prove that this was not the face that came into your clubhouse, because I will have it.
They all kind of look at each other, and the knight, she says, "Well, it was definitely your face, but if you're saying it was shape changers, the story checks out to a certain extent."
Juniper gestures at the ground. We don't have shadows because of what they did to us.
The elderly half-elven priest kind of comes forward and pulls a set of like Coke bottle glasses out of his pocket and puts them on, and it magnifies his eyes. And he looks and says, "Oh dear, that's very, very. No, these two have definitely been affected by shape changes. This is not good at all. How long have you been without your shadows?"
God, how long has it been? Like a week or two?
Been about 2 weeks, yeah.
They had like what, a month before they were forever ceased?
You were basically told you had till the end of summer.
Oh, right. It's like 3 months.
It's been roughly about 2 weeks.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh well. What is it? And just kind of starts babbling along. They all start kind of grouping up together and getting ready to head back into their guild hall, which now you do see up above that symbol of the cross guard of a sword. It does have underneath it the words "The Cross Guard Mercenaries Guild," and they are kind of nodding around, looking around, and the leader, Ava, she looks at you all and she says, "Well, if you're headed after him," and she points down one of the side streets and says, "You might want to talk to the sheriff before you go. He was sort of the leader of the effort to get him out of town, and he might have a bit more information than we do. Like I said, someone wearing your friend's face here walked in under the guise of wanting to join our organization, and then proceeded to just start fucking people up. It was, I mean, truly, we thought it was a really stupid move because it was one person against 7, but then he almost killed a couple of us, so..."
Probably an attempt to slow us down. Everybody begins to trickle back into the guild hall, and she says, "If you find yourselves back in town, we owe you a drink as an apology. Go take care of your business, though, and again, many apologies." And she will begin to just head back into the guild hall.
Dang, I should have really had that lady give me all her money. She sounds rich.
As they're all trickled back into the guild hall, the lettering that's there, Kyle, is it like stenciled, like painted, or is it like risen, kind of riveted?
Like embossed.
It's
embossed.
It's a metal sign. So it's like the cross guard, like the actual image of the hilt is there, and then like iron letters that go all the way across it that just say the cross guard.
I was planning mischief. So
fair enough.
That's important information. Thank you. Never mind.
Yeah.
Well, now that's all done and dealt with, I'm gonna go buy a bowstring.
There were a couple.
Oh,
I
what?
thought
There's
that you might
bowstrings?
So
I'm coming with.
Okay.
Paul,
What?
the gif you posted.
Oh yeah.
It do be like that though.
That's literally what I was picturing. That's literally what I was picturing the whole time.
Perfect. Perfect.
Juniper joins Kyra, and then once they get their conversation going, she's going to go over to the apothecary.
Okay. What do you want from the apothecary, Juniper?
Stuff for making healing potions.
Okay. So you need the so a healing potion in general tends to cost 25 gold. You have the proficiencies and you have the kit, so you need to spend the amount of gold for the amount of healing potions you want to be able to make. So you can, for 25 gold, you can get enough stuff to make one healing potion.
Okay, so
We're going to try and get through this purchasing stuff because it is pretty late.
I have one last thing as well for the purchasing.
She's going to spend about 125 gold to be able to make 5 of them.
Okay. Yeah, you have the you have herbalism supplies enough to make 5 healing potions, and then the herbalism kit item should tell you what it takes to make a potion. I think it takes you have to do it over the course of a long rest, I think. I think you can make up to 1 a day.
Okay.
So, but you can read the item and that'll take care of it for you. Kyra and Ewan, who are heading over to the Bowyer or the Fletcher. I will restate the options you have here. For 250 gold, there is a blazing bowstring. There is, which adds additional fire damage to any arrows fired out of it, but only a limited amount of times per day. There is the bowstring of the Sky Sentinel, which can only be used once per day, but can do a decent amount extra of storm damage. It is imbued with the power of storm giants. And then there is and that is for 350 gold. And then for 500 gold, there is the Silver Force bowstring, which can be used 5 times per day, or 5 times per long rest, and does quite a few interesting things.
Yeah. I would like to hawk up the 500 gold.
Okay.
Actually, would it be possible? And I will pull out the, yeah, I will actually, no, I don't want to deal with that. I'm not gonna try and barter. I'm not in the mood. I will just hawk up the money for it.
Okay.
For the silvered.
Yep.
Yeah.
I will make that item and put it into your inventory before the next time we play. Because he's selling it to you, so I'm not going to make you have to identify and try and figure out what it does. This magical bowstring is salvaged from a broken Monster Slayer bow. Made of pale silver strands of an unknown mystical creature, this bowstring can be attached to any long or short bow by magically increasing or reducing its size to fit. The bowstring holds 5 charges and replenishes 1d4 plus 1 charges after a long rest. Once per turn, you can choose to expend a single charge to add an extra 1d8 force damage to the shot on a hit. If you choose to add 2 charges and you hit, on top of the 1d8 force damage, you cause a large or smaller creature to be knocked back 10 feet if they fail a DC 14 dexterity saving throw, and only 5 feet on a successful save. Any arrow shot through a bow affixed with the string is imbued with the silvery magic of the string and is considered silvered ammunition. And just so you are aware, because you will be able to have more than one bowstring if you want to purchase other ones later, especially once you get up into the elven cities. There might be more options. You can only have one bowstring on your bow at a time because they don't take an attunement slot, but it takes a short rest to change out your bowstring.
Coolio. I'm gonna put it on my bow.
Perfect. And I will, like I said, I will get that made up for you and put it in your character sheet.
Thank you.
And then, Ewan, were you interested in either of the other two?
That Sky Sentinel one's pretty spicy.
Pretty spicy. So that's 350 gold. You have plenty of gems.
Dig out gems for it, yeah.
So, you're looking at... and I will do the same thing for you. This bowstring can be strung to any bow. Once attached, the string forms to fit the weapon, becomes tight. It requires a short rest to replace the bowstring of your weapon. This golden thread holds great power. Once per day, you speak the command word to transform your next attack into a storm arrow. Your one arrow splits into 3 separate arrows, which you must roll an attack for each arrow. And each arrow of the storm arrow has an additional 1d4 lightning damage added to the roll. You can use this once per dawn. You must declare you are using a storm arrow before you make your attack. And you cannot recover an arrow that you launch in this way. It is destroyed.
Yeah, it is destroyed. That also makes sense.
But yeah, once per day, you basically get a kind of like a scorching ray-esque arrow shot.
Dope.
Because each one of the arrows will do its normal arrow damage plus a 1d4 lightning.
Hot.
Yeah. So I will go ahead and get those into your guys' character sheets before the next time we play.
Thanks, Kyle.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks for letting me kick some guys in the face. That was sick.
You're very welcome.
So you had to be decked for it, though. Or sucker
You got
punch,
to be
really.
rabbit number 255.
Yeah. And then before we end for the day, Omende, did you have one last thing you wanted to search for?
I assume there's probably like an instrument stall somewhere in there. Somebody selling some instruments.
Let me roll for it. Yeah.
Nice. I wanted to see if they had a particular kind of instrument. So I looked up in D&D Beyond what it is, because I'm proficient in both a glower and a longhorn. I have a glower.
Okay.
I looked up what a D&D longhorn is. It's literally a long oboe. I don't want that. When I had put longhorn as my thing, I pictured, like the big giant ram's horns that like people in church be blowing out of. Yeah, I want one of those.
How about a didgeridoo?
Nah. Because I want to get something so that way, like, we have something to intimidate people with.
Sure.
Just Omen,
cry.
Omenda walking around with the horn of Helm Hammerhand.
Dude.
No,
hear me out.
What you would be looking for in this instance, that I would say because it is still technically an instrument, you're looking for something akin to a hunting horn.
Yeah.
And you definitely can find something like that, and I'd say 5 gold you can purchase
Cool.
that.
And
And
if
if you,
like kind of a big one.
oh
you
yeah,
know?
absolutely.
Yeah.
There's like one
A
made
couple
of
twists.
yeah, like from some strange yak that lives up in the mountains or something like that.
Some like yak or ram's
It's
horn.
still it's got to be small enough for you to be able to use it.
Yeah, it's gonna be like strapped on my back
yeah.
or something like that, and then I
Yeah,
pull it
which
out and
it
go,
is, and you definitely can you can find something like that. If you wanna, you can just put it in your inventory as a longhorn. That's totally fine.
Sweet, cool. And that is it for me. It was said 5. What was it? 5 what?
Just 5 gold.
Okay, cool.
Yep. Beauty, eh?
Beauty,
Hell yeah,
eh?
dude.
All
That
right.
fight was honestly pretty fun.
That was pretty. Yeah, that was a nice little intermediate. I'm glad for some more of those as we.
I
chase these
I
guys.
feel so bad for Caitlin. That was such a long time to sit there and do nothing.
You did in the fight though, because I was
Did in
gonna
the
rock
fight,
that
though.
guy's shit.
Yeah,
this next turn.
Ewan
just
was
gonna
about
keep
to
going.
just.
Honestly, I rolled a die on my end. Like I was really considering. I'm like, does Ewan still just like sucker punch this guy after the
Yeah.
fight's done? Just
Like-
this guy stabbed me twice.
Depending on how it had gone, I was thinking about using Juniper's Fey presence.
Oh, that would have been fun.
It's spicy.
Uh,
But entirely unrelated to actual like in session stuff, but just
Yeah.
picture it, guys. Kyra riding a fucking dire wolf, maybe Omenda and Juniper on the back of a bear, while Ophalon runs rapidly beside them with this giant weapon, and he just blows that horn. Pretty
Yeah.
spooky. Pretty spooky little party there. I'd be scared.
Spooky. But yeah,